Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. How to make a quick and easy dado sled. And this is the one I made. And basically the reason I made it is I want to be able to make some parts bends pretty soon where I'm going to cut multiple dados like this. And the nice thing is if you have a dado jig and you have a center mark, you can mark all your things and then you can just move it along and basically move them down the track and cut these dados. So I thought that would be a nice thing to have, and it actually works really well. So I'll show you how I made it. Let's get started. Right here I figure out how big I want my dado slide to be, and then I'm going to proceed to cut. That'll be the length of the actual slide, and I believe it's 36 inches. And then what I want to do is I want to laminate two pieces of plywood together. That way I can, the sides that I'm holding onto with my hands to push it through will be thicker. So I'm going to cut 4 of these, and then I'm going to get them cut all the same dimension, and then proceed to laminate those together. Glue up was pretty quick. It basically, just glue it and clamp it. And basically I'm just spreading it out, gluing them together, and then I just clamp them all together in a clamp. I like these dual clamps. I need to get some more of them because they hold real good and they feel real comfortable. I don't have a lot of them though. Right here I cut the actual sled bottom itself, and then I check it for square, make sure it's looking good. Hook up my dust right, and I'm going to be putting in some walnut strips underneath because they're kind of harder and they'll last longer. So right there I dado out some grooves that'll accept the walnut in the center. And then I go over there and chop them to length on my chop saw. I like walnut. It's real hard and durable, and so right here I glue the walnut strips in, and it was actually a pretty tight fit, so I had to give them a little extra help to get in there. And I should have actually cleaned off the glue a little better right there because I left too much on, and I ended up having to do a lot of cleaning of that glue. So the next day I get it all sanded up and scrape all that glue off and kind of just clean it up so it'll slide real nice on the tracks. It slid really nice, and actually I didn't even put any wax on it yet. And right here I ripped down the pieces that I laminated together, get them cleaned up in the right dimension, and they came out really solid. And I basically right here I figure out I get the other one the exact same size, and then I just clean up all my mess and get ready to cut these pieces. Now so I lay it out in the center, and then I wanted a good wide support because I'm going to be cutting out that whole center of that plywood. So I make some radiuses right here that I thought looked pretty good, and mark how the fence is going to look, or how the sled's going to look. And I cut as much as I could with the table saw, and then finished it off in the bandsaw, and that seemed to work pretty good. I guess I could have used the fence and cut it on the bandsaw, but it just seemed pretty easy with the table saw. Anyway, I cut both these pieces and get them ready and get them cleaned up, and they came out really nice, and I liked the feel of it. Like, it wasn't too bulky, and I don't think it's going to be too heavy that where I won't be comfortable with it. And so yeah, I get both pieces. I get my sander and my vacuum going, and proceed to kind of clean these things up and smooth them out a little bit. Um, yeah, that little Makita sander makes pretty quick work of it. And the way I got my little sanding station now, I really like, because I hook up with the big 4-inch, and then I've got one of those equipment adapters from Rockler that goes right to my Makita sander. So that works out really. I then take it over to the router and I round over all the edges and just make them nice and soft, and so they're easy to hold with my hand. And yeah, that worked out really good. Next up, I lay out the sled and mark where I'm going to screw and drill all the holes. I pre-glue it and clamp it to the sled, and then drill pilot holes for all the screws. And I'm using some square-headed powder-coated screws in the bottom, so they'll run flush under there. And I clean up all the glue and screw the other side on. Basically, avoiding the screws in the center where I'm going to cut this thing out. And yeah, that worked out really well. It looks like it's going to really work good. Right here, I mark the center, and then I notch out the section with my skill saw, and then I cut the remainder with the jigsaw, and then I test it. I test it on a board to see how it works, and it worked really amazing. All you had to do is line it up where you wanted it, make your marks, line them up on the center, and it really worked good. Thanks for watching Outlaw Woodworking. The Dado sled came out really nice, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Later.